guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a January book haul, which I'm so excited about because even though this is coming late, I've got some birthday acquisitions, and birthday acquisitions are always the best acquisitions because these were on my wish list for the longest time and I finally have them in person, which is just blowing my mind. But also I've got some library books to show you guys that have been pretty popular and circulated around BookTube, so let's get into them. I'm so excited to talk about these. So the first book we have here is Lovely War by Julie Berry, and I honestly never heard about this book until Cindy Pham from Read with Cindy recommended on her channel. She's like, this is a 5-star book. It made me cry 9 different times. She wasn't expecting it to be good. She read it on a plane. It was one of those like plane reads, and it actually ended up being a really good book. So I was like, okay, it sounds intriguing as hell. 5 stars for a World War II book, I believe. I'm not entirely sure, but honestly was intrigued. So I read the blurb, and this is such an interesting premise. So here we have these like 4 different couples, I believe. Is it 4? Three different couples, I believe. And World War I and II. And basically Aphrodite is trying, the goddess Aphrodite is trying to get these couples to work out because there's a competition of some sort among the gods on Mount Olympus, and they're trying to, you know, see if they can keep these couples together, and Aphrodite is trying her best to win this competition. So this is narrated, like, I think mostly by her or entirely by her. So what the fuck? I'm very intrigued. I'm so excited to read this. I've heard a lot of great things since posting on my Instagram about this book, so very excited to read this. The next book we have here is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, which I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't know too much about this. I picked it up because everyone was talking about it, and it's actually Erin Morgenstern's second popular book at least. The Night Circus was her first one, and this is her second one, most recent. And I don't know too much about it, I'm not gonna lie, but I would love to learn more about it after this video, even though that's not what I'm supposed to do. I was on the hold for this, or the hold line, whatever it's called, for a very long time, and I finally got it, and this book is due in like 3 days? Can I read it in 3 days? I don't think so, but I'll try to start reading it. Yeah, I've had a lot of books to read for school this semester, so this month specifically. So yeah, I didn't really get a chance to read this, but I do have it in my hands right now, so that's worth something, right? The next book we have here is An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green, which I'm currently reading, not very far through, but I am reading it right now. And this is another one of those books that I've heard a lot about in 2019 specifically. The synopsis for this sounded really interesting because it kind of centers around YouTube and internet fame, which Hank Green would know about, being half of the Vlogbrothers and also, you know, co-creating VidCon. So he would know a little something about that, and he wrote about it through this story. So we have April, who, with her friend Andy, discovers this statue in the middle of, or actually I think it was like near Central Park, and it's inexplicable, it's huge, and it feels almost warm to the touch, which statues usually don't feel like. And basically what happens is she records it, she becomes internet famous overnight because she posted on YouTube, they both become internet famous, and these statues actually start to appear all over the world, in different cities. So they're trying to figure out what exactly is going on with these statues and who put them there. So yeah, it's kind of a whodunit thing, but also a sci-fi, but also an exploration of fame, lots of things. So far I'm enjoying it, but the writing style isn't really my thing. So that's my opinion on it so far. For now, it's like a 3.5. Actually, about 3 out of 5 stars for me. Now on to the purchase book. So the first one is actually not one that I got for my birthday, but I wanted to mention it in this haul because I'm going to be reading it pretty soon. So it is Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. So this book was recommended to me by my little brother because I don't sleep, and he's trying to get me to sleep, so he recommended this book. But I've also seen a lot of people review this. I went on Goodreads. It's a pretty popular book. So I was like, hey, I'll read this when the time is right. And the time is never right for me because I feel like I've been avoiding this because I know that if I read it, I'm going to be scared of all the, you know, damage that I've done to my brain and my body from the lack of sleep. So one of these days, I'm going to read this. If anyone can encourage me in the comments to read it, if it's good, if it's really enlightening, please do so because I need encouragement. I don't want to read this book, but I also want to read it. It's hard. With these books, it's hard because you know you're going to find out some things that you probably wouldn't really like to hear. Now on to the birthday books. Oh my god. Let's just do 2 of them together because they're by the same author. We've got, are you guys ready for this? Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney and Normal People by Sally Rooney. Guys, I've been wanting to read both of these books for like a year now, ever since I started hearing about them. They honestly keep getting very mixed reviews from people, so I'm not sure how I feel about it. I know somebody who I work with at school didn't end up liking Normal People as much as she thought she would. But yeah, I've been hearing mixed reviews, which makes me even more curious as to how this is going to be for me. I don't know too much about this, except for one of these books has really, what's the word for it? Irritating lack of communication. I think it's Normal People, correct me if I'm wrong, but people have found that really annoying, that the characters are just not talking about what they need to talk about. But I kind of love that, because that's how it is in real life too, like, isn't it? Even though it's irritating, it's so reflective of real life. So I'm very excited about both of these books. Guys, Sally Rooney, oh my god, I own both of these books now. Cannot wait to read them. So the next book we have here is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I am so incredibly happy and grateful to be holding this book right now, because the hardcover version is expensive, I'm not gonna lie. And I've heard a lot about this book. I've been wanting to read it, but the holds on this are so excessive. There are like 300 holds or something in the library for the audiobook and for the physical book. So I didn't even try getting it from the library. I'm not even gonna attempt that. But I'm really glad that I got this for my birthday, because I get to read it now. So this book has been all over, circulating Goodreads, YouTube, bookshops, everywhere. Basically just taking over the world. So it's basically about this girl named Kaya, who is the marsh girl of this North Carolina town that she's from. It's a very small town. And basically she's ostracized to the point of living on her own. Nobody wants to talk to her, nobody interacts with her. And she grows from that. It's a coming of age story of sorts. So honestly, don't know what to expect with this. Very vague description from me, but also I haven't heard too much about what it's about, if that makes sense. Just a lot of people lauding and praising this book. So that's how a lot of books are hyped up, and a lot of books are disappointing for me, but we shall try this book and see how it is. Next up is a book I've actually already read, but I've never shown on this channel because I didn't own a copy, and it is Slaughterhouse 5 by Kurt Vonnegut. I wanted this cover specifically just because I love it. It's so bright. Like, look at that. It's so bright and so beautiful. But I read this book in sophomore year of high school in my English class, and I loved it. It's such a weird little book. Like, if you've read this book, you know it's just crazy. Like, it's insane. But it's so interesting in that it's so crazy and insane. Kurt Vonnegut is kind of known for those weird little books. He also wrote Cat's Cradle and Breakfast of Champions, right? Is that the book? Yeah, Breakfast of Champions. My friend actually read that book. She recommended it to me. I have to read it at some point. But yeah, so this one I actually already read, but I do want to reread it because I haven't since sophomore year of high school, and that's a long time ago. So if you read this book, let me know what you thought of it. I've honestly seen mixed reviews for Kurt Vonnegut's books in general, because some people just don't really get his humor or what he's trying to say, but if you do, then it's a very enjoyable read. The last book we have here is another hyped book. I'm sorry, I know I have a lot of them in this book haul, but they were all on my wish list, so I ended up just getting all of them. And it is Scythe by Neal Shusterman. So this book is about a world where there's no hunger, no disease, no war, no misery. I'm reading this from the back because, once again, don't know the exact, synopsis of this, but basically, there's no death. And with no death, basically there still needs to be a way to control the population, and to do that we have scythes, who are the only people who can end life. Just those like 2 sentences alone, I was like, holy shit, this is my type of book. This sounds really interesting. It's quite big, but the font is also pretty big, so I'm gonna read it soon, most likely. But yeah, that's the last book in this book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you've read any of these books. Let's talk about it in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on any of these, especially the ones from the library, because I have to return those pretty soon, so if they're not great, then let me know. But the ones that I own, I'm gonna have them anyway, right? So yeah, let me know what you thought of them, and let me know what you're reading right now, because I'd love to hear more recommendations for good books, bad books, not recommendations for bad books. Make me stay away from those, but also just let me know so I know those are not great. But yeah, that's all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day and night. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.